All right, thanks for staying with us. Okay, so I'd like to reference an open letter to Fashola on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway by Niron Adedokun. When the government fixes roads without humane project, right, management structures, the people rather find a way to survive, right? The instinct to arrive early and set about other things drives people into unacceptable and dangerous behavior. Nigeria is currently like a country without citizens. No one shows loyalty to a country that disrespects them like Nigeria does. We agree that the minister, we agree, Minister, that rebuilding this road will help Nigerians in the long run. But things can be done better, can run better. So how do we fix a road this magnitude of the expressway without providing alternatives? Now, the Ikorodu-Shagam route is dilapidated, just as the Ekpe-Shagam access is no better condition, or is in no better condition. So between the Long and the Kara bridges, there are two alternative routes on either sides of the road, but no, contractors and government officials blocked these routes, supposedly to stop people from driving against traffic around the Opik axis. Now, it goes without saying that the dilapidated state of these roads has a strong influence on the increased crime rate. And today we want to discuss the state of the roads rehabilitation in Nigeria. So do you think our government is doing well? So that was a letter from the guy. I just took out some excerpts because he brought out a lot of facts and tried to help the minister to understand and see where it is hitting us hard, how it is affecting the Nigerians, and how it is being, and he also tried to also prefer solutions, right? Yeah. So, I mean, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation, send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-8663. You can also tweet at us at WaveShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WaveShow. All right, so when I read that letter, right, I mean, he commended the minister. And at some point he said, I think the minister just believes that he's doing us a favor when he's doing the roads and all of that. Don't every government official think
every single one of them.
It's not limited to a particular ministry. Yeah. Every government official feel like when they are doing their job they actually should be grateful that they are doing their job, right? They're doing us a favor. But let's even keep that aside. Road rehabilitation in Nigeria, right? The other day I saw one of because I was privileged to meet him one-on-one when I was doing the production for the Leading Woman show. Honorable Fuad, I think he's the Obalende councillor and all of that. Yes. I saw a video that he had posted on his page, rehabilitating one of the roads in Ikoyi here. And, you know, what made me comment on that video, which was, you know, really something that I've always said, was the fact that there was consideration to do the drainages first before fixing the road. So I said, the fact that there's a drainage in this road, I am very 100% sure that this road will do well, which is what we don't see normally, right? So, I mean, road rehabilitation in Nigeria is something that is almost like year in, year out. I don't see us in the next 50 years not talking about roads. Because I think Nigeria is deliberately making sure that we have craters, we have death traps, we have all of those things on the road so that we just keeps Nigerians busy to make us think that the government is working. Because for the life of me, I still do not understand why we've not been able to get some roads off of these recurrent expenditures that we have every year. Yep. Right? So, but let's look at the roads that the government they've done or they are still doing and constructing. In your opinion, do you think the government has done well?
Ooh, should I go first?
You already called my name, so you can go ahead.
We all know it's a categorical no. We've known this for decades, that Nigerian government, in fact, I posted it on our stories, the poster, and I played one of Fela's songs he sang in the early 80s. Same old story for the past 3 decades. It's very unfortunate that there are certain roads that actually service a large group of people, and a particular state government wants to do something, and then they claim federal government is stopping them, saying don't touch it, it is our responsibility. why don't you just let it get done, regardless of who touches what? Just let it get done. If it's not because of the repetitive contracts that they want to gain something out of, every single time claiming that, oh, it's because of this road. There was like maybe 15 years ago when they gave the Lagos-Ibadan road to a contractor, one particular guy. Let me just leave his name out of it because I don't know what to say allegedly on and not allegedly on. And it was as if they abandoned it while they were discussing what amount of money should come out as the mobilization fee and what shouldn't come out as the mobilization fee. There's a road on Ogudu, or at Ogudu, that it seems they scrape it. It joins K2 to Ogudu to the beginning of Third Mainland Bridge. They scrape it almost every 3 weeks. That's how it comes across if you use it. They scrape it almost every 3 weeks. Fix it, scrape it, fix it. I believe it's because people are making money out of making us uncomfortable. Because I've seen bridges in Japan that collapsed, and within 2 weeks, everything was sorted without inconveniencing the citizens. So they should stop state and federal governments.
So I like the part in the article, and I'll come to you, Chinelo. I like the part in the article where the man had talked about not even considering that there's a way you can put humanity in your project, like in a way that the people do not need to suffer. Because now, on that road, let me tell you, like back to back, the reason we're even talking about, especially this Lagos-Ibadan Expressway now, is now a constant K. You get robbed, there's kidnapping, there's abduction, there are so many things going on that particular stretch. Because you know clearly. I mean, the other day, Elsie and I went to Milola's hometown for her housewarming party. We took the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway going to Waterside, but the traffic we saw, we had to come through Epe
to come back.
Right, to come back. And guess what? The people that left earlier than us, they didn't get home till maybe like 11, 10 at night, while we got home maybe 8 o'clock or something. The point I'm trying to make is that if we truly are counting the losses, we are counting what we're losing as a people. We're not only losing revenue, we're losing lives, we're losing so many things, right?
Time,
You're losing valuable time that you'd have used for other things. Now, somebody that is supposed to be on the road for maybe max 1 hour, you end up spending 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours on a road, and of course there are hungry people all over the place. You are worried about getting robbed and all of those things. Like,
even when you're gridlocked,
how do we even start to think about putting humanity in these roads? Because it's not like there are no alternative roads. But I don't think the government is really even paying attention that, okay, we can actually find a solution and put alternate roads while this is going on, and it doesn't obstruct anything. But let me hear your thoughts, Chinelo.
Okay, so first let me give a shout out to Nero. Nero is my very good friend. Nice. And then when I saw this article, I'm like, okay, somebody actually came out to say this. I don't know, are they doing well? If you look at roads, like, okay, let's look at the Agege Bridge and all of that they constructed recently. I mean, that was a fantastic job. That place actually needed to be, something needed to be done about that, because for years since I was little, I've known that place to be very, very bad. Yes. So doing that bridge and fixing that road actually eased a lot of traffic around it. But then, like Nero rightly said, they do these things and then they expect us to give them a standing ovation and say, oh, thank you very much for. Meanwhile, it's part of your duties. When you guys came and said, oh, vote for us, roads were part of the things that roads
I can't even wait for roads to not be part of campaigns.
always part of the campaign. What's it called? Manifesto.
Promises.
They always say that. But then you now go and look at that Lagos-Ibadan Express. There was a day I was coming from the island and I was going to Opik, that's Opik, close to Channels. And I kid you not, I was in that traffic for over 3 hours. Normally, it won't take me, what, max
15 minutes.
You know,
yes.
From Punch, newspaper, then to Punch, and I'm like, what is this? It was horrible. I didn't know that road was that bad. And then I'm not wondering, people that are going all the way to maybe like Redeem Camp, Moe, or Father, all of those places, all the way to Ibadan, when are they going to get to their destinations? It's appalling.
So he then pointed out something around the children that have to wake up as early. What is that? As early as 4 a.m.
Well, we're going
to get to school.
And guess what? Some of them don't get back home
until 9 p.m.
Until 10 p.m. in the night, 11 p.m. in the night. So where's the time?
The toll on people's health.
It's too much. The health toll. We've not even calculated that.
Let's talk about this, our Lekki Ekpe Expressway. People that live in Songotedo. And we know that this is where things happen. This is where this is the commercial hub, right? People are coming all the way from Songotedo, Lakwe. They're coming to work in VI. They have to leave their houses as early as 4 a.m. before they can get to work. They have children. Most of them cannot put their children in schools around their area. It has to be a school around there so that they can easily do school drop-off and school pick-up, you know. And you see kids. When I see kids in school buses at 6:30, I literally cringe because I don't understand
toddlers
why a child has to wake up that early. How do you expect the child to function in school? So these are the things that they actually need to consider. People are suffering. The people that children are suffering. I've had 2 families now that have had houses just before Chevron. And then they say, oh, I work in Ikoyi. My wife works in VI. They bought houses there, mind you. They now have to come and rent houses in Ikoyi or maybe
from Monday to Friday,
so that they will be able to, you know, carry on with their daily lives. It's really sad.
The thing about this road, this one that you mentioned, this Lekki-Ekpe Expressway that leads all the way to Ekpe, is I don't understand how the government started giving out building permits without making alternatives. That's why I used to enjoy living on the mainland, because when I lived in Yaba, I had 6 options of getting home. If this place is blocked, I will take this road. If this one is blocked, I'll take that road. But that Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, when a truck or an accident or anything happens, is the disruption and then the backlog takes it all the way back to the toll gate. There's nowhere for anybody to escape to. When it happens, everybody just knows we're sleeping here today. Don't build roads that don't have options.
No, but funny thing is that, you see, that's the thing. People are missing the point. On Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, there are alternate roads.
Where?
No, there are.
The coastal roads.
So, but the challenge with those alternate roads, they are not, first of all, it's not advised for you to drive on those roads, because your cars can get stuck. You know, some of them again, because of the sandy, the beaches, you know, so your cars can get stuck. So that's where this conversation is going, that you are rehabilitating roads in Nigeria. How well are you doing? Because it's not just enough for you to say you are doing the roads. It is the efficiency of how livelihoods and lives are not disrupted that matters, right?
Yeah.
So imagine Ibadan. You know, I mean, I'm going to Osun State again this weekend. I know what I'm going to face. I'm already preparing my mind. In Ibadan, for instance, you are driving. All of a sudden, there's a roadblock. There is no prior information.
Absolutely.
You don't have any heads up to say. Then you now see all those boys that are hawking, now telling you, turn. We used to listen to them before until we said no.
That they're directing us to danger.
Yes, because you are not even sure. Most of them will direct you to go where you go and get robbed or something. So I'm saying to you that it's not wired in the culture of Nigerians to actually put up safety measures, to put up palliatives when things like this are being done. After all, like they do the road now. But you have not, yes, it is one thing for you to do the road. It's another thing for you to do the road efficiently, in a way that other commuters are not disrupted. I have been all over the world. Like, I've been to other parts of the world where I see them doing construction. You will not even believe there is a major road construction.
There's no inconvenience. They will give you advance notice.
And you won't even see the disruption because it's not affecting you in any way. They're just doing the road quietly.
You won't see it, but there are people monitoring the roads. When you do roads or lanes abroad, they have their makeshift traffic lights, and then they have manpower standing there, so that for every 30 seconds they're passing a lane, and then they stop another lane and pass it when it's a too late thing. You will see them working, but they figured out, civil engineers and all of them have figured out how to make it easier for everybody. Also, aside from that, just this last weekend, you know, they had this arts exhibition in Federal Palace. Because every big man wanted them to drop him at the doorstep of the Bamora entrance. They caused a traffic jam that, and once it starts somewhere, it's everywhere. Akiade, Shola, Ozumba, Mbadiwe, Adeola, Odeku, everything was just gridlocked. Meanwhile, Lazima, knowing fully well, or whoever they are, because they keep having uniforms for different people, could tell that there was a gridlock at Federal Palace Hotel. But nobody is calling them saying, oh, it's clear up to this point. Let's start directing traffic this way to ease whatever is going on there.
Road traffic management default. That is not linked to a bad road.
Well, it's linked to a back road because at times most people are focused on the good road. Nobody wants to take an alternative because there's a pothole here and I don't drive SUV.
So let me take, because I had seen this report from the federal minister, my dear Babatunde Fashola. It says the federal government owes contractors about 11.16 trillion for the construction of various highways across the country and certificates of completion. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, made this disclosure while defending the proposed budget of his ministry in the 2023 appropriation bill. Said his ministry had currently awarded 1,642 highways contracts for 1,632 projects at a sum of 10.395 trillion. So while he was appearing before the House of Representatives, he said all of this. He said the main challenge to highway development in the country remains inadequate funding. As at date, the government is committed to highway contractors to the tune of 10.4 trillion, while a total of about 765 billion are unpaid certificates for executed works. Now, secondly, the shortage of younger engineers, technical officers in the ministry are a result of embargo on employment is affecting proficient project supervision at the sites. It is expected that more sources of funding of highway projects be explored, as well as lifting the embargo on employment of needed engineers and technical officers at the middle level to enhance supervision of projects. So when I saw this,
grammar.
No, it's not grammar. This is where the real crop of the problem is, because now we do not have people that are proactive in thinking.
Okay.
If we have some level of intellectuals, right, handling this project, not just knockabout carpenters and site engineers and all. If you understand it, you will know that from the word go. Like, so I organize projects, for instance, right? My events that I organize for children, because I already know, I make sure that there are mobile nurses available in case that somebody faints or something happens, an accident. I make sure that there are safety measures that I put in place just to be sure that, yes, if anything goes wrong, right? But I am doing that because I am a bit enlightened. So how many of these contractors have proper standard procedures that they have gone through? How many of them understand safety? You understand? How many of them have gone through? Because abroad, before you are given contracts of this magnitude, your company must be certified as, a safety compliant company, so that everything in the eventuality, because you see, this is not just limiting to just robbery and everything. There can be an emergency on that road. Somebody is in an ambulance cannot get to that person.
They can't get there.
So these are the things. And let me tell you something. We have not really measured the amount of death that has happened on our road.
Can I say something? It's as if nobody has noticed that it's Julius Berger blocks that are all over these roads. So who else is better? If Julius Berger can't figure it out.
Let me explain something to you that you do not know. I can bet you that because the Nigerian factor is in play in Nigeria, I can bet you that the standards that a company that you've mentioned, the standards they will follow abroad, they might not follow that standard up here. Because why? We are we do not pay attention, right, to all of these things. And of course, they will tell you that since it's not part of the agreement,
the government
some
has
of these
given
things also come as a cost. No. Some of this safety, whatever, it comes at a cost that the government might just tell them, you know what, just ignore it. We don't need it.
And so it's not so much the engineers or the people on the streets not knowing what they're supposed to do. It's the fact that the corruption trickles down to the very bottom. And we see it in every single thing that we do. There's no integrity. There's no consequences. If you don't do a road, or you seem to have a high ratio of accidents on the road abroad, you're going to jail. If you are the contractor, you're going to jail. I mean, ordinary car, they tell you that a seatbelt failed. You're going to pay everybody that bought a car from that series. You're going to pay. It's a class act suit. So it's corruption playing in different ways all all in, I mean, the contractor, the Julius Baja collected the money. The people that gave the Julius Baja the money, I'm mentioning it because it's stated, it's there on the road. No, it's not accusations. Their blocks are on the road as the major contractors that have partnered with whoever the government gave it to build those roads. And if they've been in business in Nigeria for decades, they know what they're doing and why they stay.
Okay, on that note, let's take a break. I want to open our phone lines. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the rehabilitations of our roads in Nigeria? Do you think the government has done well? Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for staying with us now. If you just tuned in, it's our Ladies' Night Out, and we are discussing the topic road rehabilitation in Nigeria. We're asking, has the government done well? Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-8663. You can also tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. Our phone line is now open. The number to call is 0702500749. That is the number to call. So, Uti has joined us. Uti, Elu.
Hi, ladies. Good evening.
I'm good. How are you? So, Uti, I mean, help us with this conversation. Tell us what came to your mind when you saw the article that was written, and do you think that our government have done well with our roads?
Our government cannot do well. It's not a function of this government. I think everybody sitting at that table will agree that for their entire lifetime, we've been talking about roads and infrastructure in Nigeria. We cannot do well. The problem compounds every day because what wasn't fixed 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 5 years ago, the problem continues to compound and it continues to get worse. But the aspect that you sort of touched and then glossed over is where the real problem is for me, right? None of these businesses are charities, and as much as we've always heard the story of, contractors, you hear they've given them a contract, they start and then they stop. I think like they just talked about somebody scraping a road and then leaving it, right? What you touched on and the issue of funding, whether we accept it or not, it's a real reality, right? I can't go and fight for a contract and I tell you the cost of the contract is ₦1 billion. And then to even get that ₦1 billion, right, needs cash backing. It needs budget allocation. Nobody is allocating 1 billion for my project, right? For me to even get 200 million out of that billion allocated for my project, I'll probably spend 100 million just to get 200 million in the budget. And then somebody will put out a banner that says, a news story that says, I've been awarded the contract. And they will put a big banner that says, my company was awarded the contract. Then 5 years later, or 6 years later, or 7 years later, somebody will be asking whether or not I've done my job. Mind you, I've spent 100 million. They've allocated 200 million. The 100% of that 200 million will never come out. I'll be lucky if I see 20% of that money. So please, how are the roads going to get done?
That's what happened.
And
So
that
it's
is
not about, because I mean, like, we've had this conversation many times, and people say, hey, the contract, yes, corruption is a problem. Like I said, if I've already spent 100 million, odds are, if you give me 50 million, I'm going to look for how we recoup
my money back. Uti, hold your thoughts. I'll come back to you, Uti. Let me take our first caller, Stephen from Abia State. Thank you for calling. Hello, you're live.
Hello, good evening, ladies.
Hi, Stephen. Good evening.
Yes, concerning this issue on the table there on discussion, government and government officials are to be blamed. Reason: for every content, you discover that government officials who are in charge, and the contractors, they want to buy cow house. They want to build house or houses from every awarded contract, not minding the consequence at the end of the job. everybody is hustling to make money quick. From every contract, you see contractors, government officials, even those who want to go into politics, they see it as avenue to make money, to run politics. So with all this, you discover that the construction companies, you see that their hands become tied. Nobody talks. The lady there said if it were in other countries, they can't do it. Julius Berger cannot do a shady job in Germany or even other African nations. That corruption has
aided it. Absolutely.
Into the fabric. So that is our problem.
Thank you.
And that's why you see politicians, government, they are treating Nigerians as they like. It is only when we change this so-called government and other government that have ruled. Let's try another one and see if any government that fails every 4 years, if they don't do well the first 4 years, we change them.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Uti, let me come back to you because it seems like Stephen is kind of like, alluding to the fact still tying to funds. Uti, go ahead.
Yeah, so we have to be clear, right, in that how are these problems going to get solved? Fundamentally, that funding is an issue, right? Now, let's take when the minister talked about the amount of money. I think you said 7.3 trillion. I think I saw somewhere else about 11.4 trillion now that is needed, right, to fund those roads. How much money made it into the 2022 budget for road review, for rehabilitation? That's talking on a federal level, right? That's before we come to a state level. When Lady was talking about, state money is not yet complete. They will now need to fix federal road. No, we fix the state roads and wait for the federal government to come and spend their money on the federal road. When the minister comes out and tells you that, as it is today, we have thousands and thousands of contracts for how many thousands of kilometers of road that are out there to be fixed, and they're not going to be fixed. Why? Because there's no money in the budget. The minister has said it before. We need to look for more creative ways and other ways on which we're going to fund these roads. There was a report he gave where he said that there were only, I think it was about 4 roads that had a chance of success for our building in Nigeria. Why? Because those roads were not funded from the annual budget. I think they were funded from the National Sovereign Investment Authority, right?
Yeah.
That was the Abuja-Kano Road, this Lagos-Ibadan Road, and the second Niger Bridge. Those projects were only completed because they were funded from that fund and not from the annual budget. So the problems, we have to find new solutions to the problems. These are age-old problems. Like I said, all of our lives, we've been talking about bad roads.
Scary for
and over time, those roads keep getting worse, right?
Absolutely, that's what is scary for me.
Now the government is...
Because it seems like...
Sorry?
That's what I'm saying. That's what's scary for me. Because it seems like for the next 50 years, Uti, I do not see us not talking about roads when we are campaigning. I do not see us not talking about it. But let me take Loma.
Yes, that's where I'm coming to. Okay.
Let me take Loma, Uti. You're live, Loma.
Oh, good evening, my dear children.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, see, God will bless the people for this topic today.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, in the southeast, especially Abia State, government have not done well in road rehabilitation. Let me just give you one road or two. PlusTvAfrica Umuahia Road is one of the busiest roads. One politician came and told us that everything has been done to execute that road project. Till today, nothing has been done. They told us that papers have been signed, even that contractors are bringing the equipment to that road. Nothing has been done to that PlusTvAfrica Umuahia Road. You come to Bende or Hafia Road. Nothing has been done. I'm telling you, it's like federal government has rejected federal roads that are in Abia State. It's quite unfortunate. So I feel worried that the Minister for Work, Raji Fashola, in fact, with this position, with this topic that you people are talking, they have not done well. They have not done well. They continue building the word of promise to our ear and break it to our home, telling us that it has been signed, contract this, contract that. So it is because some of the contractors, once they give you contract, you will start giving backhand to all the politicians. Before you get to the contract itself, no money will be there to execute it.
And don't forget,
it's quite unfortunate.
Thank you.
So I'm using this opportunity to tell federal government, come and finish up what you have started in Abia State. Abia Federal Road is nowhere to be. That is, the roads are bad. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You know, I was going to say that even the federal government, right, these contracts are already overinflated. Do you understand? And you still need to give kickbacks. So if until we are ready to say we want to lock everything, we can't get a headway.
In Nigeria, that's the solution. We need to find new crop of human beings in Nigeria, because this thing has been going on since they gave us independence. You remember how effective Fashola was as a governor? When he got there as a minister, the first thing someone said was, they gave him 2 or 3 ministries to frustrate him and make him look inefficient.
Power and housing.
Someone had said it, that they just want to kill this guy and make him look like he doesn't know what to do. Because if someone that was that efficient as a governor was given free hand in the ministries that they make him look like the poster child for, was really given the free hand, I don't think he will be doing what he's doing. Fashola.
Like Norman rightly said, the roads in the south are horrible. Very, very horrible.
Austin, I think we have a caller. Uti, hold your thoughts. Austin from Benin, you're live.
Good evening. Good evening to you all.
Good evening.
Yeah, okay. It's just an advice that I want to put forward. You know, we were enjoying this program when you were dealing with, relationship issues. I don't know. I just want to advise. I don't know if this program can be restricted to dealing with relationship issues, marriage, relationship, and what have you. I don't know. I mean, it's just an advice I want to give.
Thank you, Austin. But you and I know that Nigeria is in a critical state right now. We cannot always talk about the feel-good things. We need to be able to address critical issues that people are afraid to talk about, and they are sweeping under the carpet, right? So this, for us, is our own way of, awakening the minds of people, getting them to start to think. I don't know about you, but I am tired of Nigeria the way it is, right? We want a better Nigeria. When we have gotten to that stage where we're in El Dorado, we can now be talking about, Austin's girlfriend came to kiss me today. That kind of conversation, we'll have that. But Uti, let me hear your thoughts. Uti, you were going to say something before.
Well, like I said, there needs to be creativity in how we're going about this problem, because it's not. I know that we're all waiting for the presidential messiah that's going to come and sprinkle fairy dust over Nigeria, and in 5 months all our problems will be solved. But the reality of it is, even when someone who is campaigning comes and tells you, oh, I'm going to fix this, I'm going to do this, please let us be asking the why. The why is so critical, the how rather, is so critical. Because it's not about telling you that I'm going to come and build roads, I'm going to come. Please, how are you going to do it?
Absolutely.
Where is the money going to come?
Thank you.
We have seen...
Now, because we've seen how promises are made and nothing is being done. Let me take youngest old man from Lagos. Thank you for joining us.
How are we?
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, so you see, I think everything boils down to corruption and compromise. Yep. I just felt that most of the people that have say in the country have been compromised mostly. I will not say everybody do, because me to compromise me go take no be small work. That's why I say I don't get, but my words they loud. I let it make mouth, but those who know me know me. So in situations where you are compromised, you have less say. I watched a sister station talking about the size of a vessel, how they loaded a vessel, how long it will take to load a vessel, and the vessel will go off radar. And they go say na oil buckle, say they don't tease the oil. Something like that. So I can't think and say, without corruption and put your eye the other side, take your own share. Something like that nothing happens. So most of these ones where they see, our big men they see, that they follow there. They know who they gave the contract. They know the amount they gave the contract for and how much it cost, everything. But because we've been compromised, most of them, they don't go talk. If they don't talk, if you talk, they will tell you where you might you take your where you go take chop your own money. They will remind you the time, the age, and hour when you shop your own. So if you want to talk, this motor way they drive, so we will tell you, I take tie your hand. In view of that, just close your mouth, they go your way. You understand? You see, you say, what is it called? They say you see nothing, you say nothing, I mean, you say nothing. So compromise has a long way in dealing with the country itself. Most of these big men are compromised. They sabi themselves. And I then just say, like me now, what I want to talk to. Why they don't allow me to see the secretary of the contractor. So, but that day just say those big men, if they want to be the one I want for one time, you see, one guy just come out the block where they tell you road. If they take and they clip am. But people they pass the snap. So for most cases is being compromised. People don't shop it with their own, and somebody allow chop up. So as I got your back, you got to got my back, or yawa go gas. So may God don't help us. We need a new generation to take care of this country, and that is why you can say I'm obedient and useful.
It is well. All right, so let's take comments, Chinelo.
Okay. Greetings, ladies. The constant traffic on the Ibadan Express decomposes much needed foods coming to Lagos besides the impact on health. Truly, our brilliance as a country expressed in so many fields as Nigerians is missing on this project, and this one is from Benson. Another one says, ladies, it's really sad. The major arteries that come into Lagos are heavily constricted due to poor project management governments. Lagos Badagry, Leke Ekpe, Lagos Ibadan, Lagos Ikorodu Shagamu, Lagos Songwater, Abeokuta, all harrowing expense for an assumed mega city, and campaign is still going on. For what? Ufoma says, good evening, ladies of Ways. Regarding the lady who claims to mix her HIV-tainted blood with Zobo to sell, there are a lot of sick characters in this world, whether true or not. Some time ago in USA, there was a lady who baked cake for her boyfriend using yeast scraped from her undies, filmed by her friend, and posted on social media.
TMI.
They were even bragging he would love the cake. It took the uproar of social media for the authorities to arrest and prosecute her. Wow. Oh, yeah. And the last one, regarding the road rehabilitation in Nigeria, my issue is standards. I went to Ibadan through Abeokuta some years back using the old road built before independence that goes through Command School. I was surprised to not find a single pothole. It was thick and solid compared to the new roads being built with oil money by contractors in the 90s, 2000s that deteriorate after the first rainfall or a couple of years. It's very poor. Some contractors, however, are known to not compromise standards like Julius Berger.
Oh, lady, go ahead.
This person didn't put his name there because I want to find out how he knew this information to be fact. He said the Lagos Ibadan is fully funded and will be completed by December. There's a tax credit for companies to build roads. MTN, Glo, Dangote, and NMPC is building roads. The second Niger will also be completed. The government is doing well. How come you didn't put your name? This government are going to build and complete 13,000 kilometers of roads. Why don't you invite the minister to your program to explain not all these allegations of corruption against government officials?
I'm going to definitely send a message to the minister. Trust me, he's supposed to be here. Yep. He will come. All right, Uti.
So this one is from Daniel Illo. He says, good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of Ways. Road rehabilitation in Nigeria, has the government done well? Says, God bless Sister Lady. The answer is a capital no. The roads out there are a nightmare and an eyesore. Our government turned themselves to parrots. They talk too much and fail to deliver and perform. For the past 10 years and more, we are still talking about roads, and this is highly unacceptable. Sister Awa said that our roads are a form of death traps, and I believe because terrible things happen, the government should act more and talk less. That can only help us. Second is from Wayamdi. Says, hi ladies and Uti on the line. Over time, there's a horrifying application of statutory responsibility by the Nigerian state when it comes to the construction and rehabilitation of road networks. It is a sad commentary on a nation that prides itself as the giant of Africa. The roads deficit in this part of the world, which is akin to a dance macabre, is horrendous, to say the least, or to avert the least. It underscores the citizens' loss of confidence in the government, but lately the Nigerian state is waking up to smell the coffee as far as giving a facelift to our death traps that pass for roads is concerned. We're seeing a semblance of a positive metamorphosis in our roads rehabilitation in this highly endowed but terribly impoverished socio-political superstructure. Hence, let's keep on harping on the best so that the government will be doing the right things.
Amen. On that note, Wayamdi, want to beg you, please keep your messages very short. That's why I had to send it to Uti. It's only Uti that can read that fast. But thank you so much, Uti. Thank you, Chinelo. Thank you, Laide. I think we will continue the conversation. I will send a message again to the Honorable Minister. I know he actually said he was going to come on the show, but now he needs to come on the show. We'll see you. Now, before we go, ensure you follow us on Instagrams at Wayshow, all over the social media platforms at Wayshow Africa. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our engagements on social media. Like, share, and invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed our quote today, here it is again. Government service is to be judged on equity as well as on efficiency. So let us just have that at the back of our mind. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Ciao.
Bye.